Today's daf is Masechtas Nazir Daf Mem. So we're at the bottom of Lamed Testament Beis, 6 lines from the bottom, the third one on line Tanya Idach. So the Gemara said that we learned another brayso. We brought down this limud that it says in the Torah tar leyaver al rosh ein liela tar. How do you know talash mer? If it does it by hand or with a scissor, how do you know there's chayiv a nazir? It says Tamalim Layav al Rosh. The Gemara asks, "Ma'ach Safina l'Rab is called Dov." Remember everything. Mal Tamalim Tar Layav al Rosh. Why does that say Tar Layav al Rosh? Why does it say Tar B'chlal? Just say Layav or Sar Rosh. Zok the Gemara, if you shalei lamanu taglachas achroina, we do not know what's going to be the halacha by the last taglachas on when his naziris comes to an end. So how do we know that he has to cut his hair then with a tar? Zok the Gemara, because it says tar. It's an extra word. It's telling you that the guy in the mitzvah geluach at the end of the naziris has to be done dafka with a tar. And Dr. Gemara, why do you have to have a limud over here? Why do you have to have this limud? Dr. Gemara, because a lot of them mitzvah to learn out from mitzvah that's megalech all is here when he becomes tahar with a tar ef sure that you can't learn out. Why? She'ain danin kal michomer, because you can't be done a cow from a chomer. Lahachmer alav. Zok the Gemara, why? Because lamaisa the din to use a tar by nazir is more called the din of the geluach than mitzvah. So you can't learn out a din cow that it has a specific halacha, let's say like tar, from a halacha that's more chomer. And the fact is, a mitzvah is more chomer. Why? Because a mitzvah has a din that he has to make geluach on all the hair on his body, whereas a nazir is only chayv to megaleach his head. So that's why I need to have tar to tell you in the pasuk by nazir that we learn that the mitzvah geluach is gemar naziris is the chiyuv is with a tar. Rebbe says, however, ain't it tzarich. You do not have to learn out the tagalachas at the completion of the naziris tahayir by a nazir from tar. Rather, you could say that tar is not extra, and why? Because I reyu oimer taliyav al rosha an malois. So Torah amra achar malois lo yitei taglachas al b'tar. So Rebbe is just saying that you don't have to say the word taglachas. The word tar is extra. You could just learn out from a pasha dik and the pasuk. The pasuk says tar liyav al rosha that all his days of naziris, he has the iser giluach. He's not allowed to cut with a tar. So it's a mashma that the Torah is telling you that he should only cut with a tar. That's the pasha the dik and the pasuk. So for Gemara, how could Rebbe say that the iser is ting melechem for a nazir with a tar? But ksiv tar liyav al roshai. The Chayr we learn out that the iser is in any oifen. It's not dafka tar. So the Gemara. Lav or lav v'shnei lav, and the fact that it says tar, it's coming to tell you that when he uses a razor, when he uses a tar, he's over on an additional lav. Besides, for the lav al he's also over on tar layav al roshai. So that's what Rebbe holds, because Rebbe holds that it says tar loyav al roshai. So the word loy, you could darshan it before it's going on before, so it's a lav on the tar, and you could darshan a la'achar that's going on afterwards. And it's an additional lav for cutting with a razor. Zok the Gemara Vaita. Amar of Chizda. The Gemara is going to go into the discussion of the shear of what the shear is for Giluach. How much you have to cut. Amar of Chizda. Lilkais, to be over on the Isra Giluach made is Rusai. Ve'achas, it's enough that it cuts one single hair. La'akiv, b'shtayim. And enough, what's considered an amount that if he finishes naziris and he's not makayim the mitzvah, he cuts off 2 hairs. So then he's not makayim a mitzvah of nazir. And Zakti Gemara listar to be soiser the whole naziris and it doesn't count is only beroiv roish. It's only if he cuts off the hair of most of his head. Vitar. And all these halachas is only if he cuts even that single hair. If you want to say that he gets over a malchus, it's only betar. All these halachas, whatever it is, these different shurim, but it's all akapanim with a tar. Azayzak Rav Chizda. Fracting Gemara betar in midachin Allah. Is it only with a tar, or if he cuts it with a scissor, it's not over? Katani minayin the rabbis call mavirin How do you? The Brisa says before we had. How do you know that he's over even if he cuts it with any another method of cutting? So the Gemara le'ema. What does Rav Chizda mean to say ke'ein tar? There's only over and seiser. Zazir only if he uses ke'ein a pa'ula of tar, which means that what's ke'ein a pa'ula of tar? What's the action of a tar? What does the razor do? It's oiker the hair, and it destroys it at its root. So if he uses a scissor to do that, or a shaver, or some sort of machine, or he does it with his hand maybe. Well, I don't know if with his hand would pashtus. Yeah. Anyway, he does it that he uproots the root of the hair. He will be over. Azay Zak Gemara Pshana Rav Chizda. Zak Gemara. Tanya Nami Hachi. Rabbi Oichta Azay learned in a Brisa. It says Nazir Talash Merat Sifs of Kolshu Ein Say Sel Baroiv Roishai. It's only Saiser Baroiv Roishai Ubitar and with a tar. So this also Zak Gemara you have to say it means Ke'ein tar. It doesn't mean tar mamish. Just means b'derech hashchasa. Rav Shimon Yehuda Aimer Rav Shimon Keshem Sheshtei Sa'aros Ma'akvis Boy, just like two Sa'aros Ma'akviv that he's not Mekayim Mitzvah Naziris. Kach Shtei Sa'aros Saisus Boy. So too Zakt Rav Shimon Yehuda that two hairs at the end of his Naziris that he cuts off Teichim Naziris are Saiser. And he's arguing on the shita that we said before of Chizdar. Rav Chizda said you have to be Megalech Roiv Roishai. Zok Rav Shimon, that's not true. Rav Shimon says it's not true. It's enough with two sires. Zokt the Heilig Gemara Vayter. Tanan Hasam. We learned in a Brisa in a Mishnah. Mesechus Negam Parakadal Mishnah Daled Shloisha Megalchin. Three people have to cut the hair of the Tiglachton mitzvah, and their cutting of the hair is a mitzvah. Who are they? Nazir. The end of a Nazir is Mitzayra, when it becomes Torah from his Taras. Leviim, and Leviim, when they get selected to serve in the Mishkan. The halacha is that they have to also be Megalech. Zok the Gemara Vayter. Zok the Mishnah. V'kulan shegil ch'shloi b'tar. If they did it Shaloi B'tar, or Shir Shtei Saros over the leftover two hairs that did not cut, Lo Yosef Klum. Then they did nothing. Zakti Gemara, Amar Mar, we see in the Mishnah, it says, Shloshim Galkum Tiglachton Mitzvah. Frekti Gemara, Pshita, it's Pashat, is that the Tiglachton is a mitzvah. Zakti Gemara, Mao the Tema, I might think that Mishum Abure Seir, who that this that in its stava, the commanded to do Luach, Zafilu sach nasha, even if he puts a cream, a chemical that takes off the sour, he's mekayim the mitzvah, and it doesn't have to have tar dafka. Kamash malon the Mishnah that no, the law that is specifically halacha you have to use a razor. So the Gemara Ketani, we learned Azay in the Mishnah. V'kulon shegil ch'shloi b'tar. So the Gemara Bishloim Gabi Nazir, we know that he needs to have taglachas b'tar. Because ksiv tar liyala roishe. It says before it's in the pasuk, you have to have a tar. V'gabi leviim, and legabi leviim also it says before it's remember the perches pasuk zayim eviru tara kol basara. And the mitzvah that has to be megalech b'tar the frek gemara menolon. It doesn't say mefurish. Chitemi, you want to say teisi, learn out milavim. Maybe you learn out the mitzvah geluach from leviim, and learn out like this: malavim shekain tun in teglachas, vein teglachtan al b'tar. Just like leviim need that teglachas, and their din teglachas is only with a tar. Afani obvious amitzayra shuton teglachas, vein teglachtan al b'tar. So too, I'll bring a mitzayra that needs to have teglachas, and this din would be that the teglachas is only with a tar. Zok the Gemara Ikla Mifrach. You can't tell me like that. Why? Because I could ask you Malavim that their din is more chamer than the Mitzayra. Shekain Tun and Tenufa Begufam, because Aaron HaKohen was made of the Leviim. He picked them up, and then therefore the Torah was machmer that they have to be malech daf with a tar. But Torah Mitzayra, the law, you don't find the chumrah. They do not have to have tenufa mitzayra begufay. Only the carbon has to have tenufa. So therefore, maybe we shouldn't be a machmer. They have to have a tar. Maybe it doesn't have the same halacha like leviim. And maybe you can malech with anything. So the Gemara ala teisi min nazir. Maybe you should learn out mitzgluach mitzayra from nazir. So the Gemara you can't learn out from nazir because mal and nazir, because it's more chamrish king karbanoi. Talon lechem. the carbon that a Nazir bring at the end of the Naziris, he has to bring 2 sets of chalas, I believe. He has to bring chales and rekikim, not revuchais. Term mitzayra, you don't find this chumrah, so maybe you should not have to have it. The mitzayra does not have the entire like the Nazir. So Zakti Gemara, Ella mechada, from one of them, from either from Levim or from Nazir, you can't learn out. Le'asim tarveyon, maybe you can learn out from both with a tzad Shabbat. And they say who had the mitzayra. So mehei tesi, from which 2 are you going to learn out? Learn out tesi. That mitzayra needs to be melech with a tar dafka milavim. So you say malavim, we need to have tenufa b'gufan. So I'll tell you Nazir Yechiach that does not have a chumrah of tenufa b'gufan, and still you see that as a dintar. So you see it's muchach from them that it's not the chumrah of tenufa, which is goyrim the chiv to melech with a tar. So you say maybe also mitzayra. And if you'll say learn out from Nazir, you say malah Nazir can go by the tal lechem because it has to have a vas lechem. So therefore the Torah's machma has to have a tar dafka. Mashagim mitzayra do not have the chumrah. So I'll tell you about the Levim or Yechiach. Yechichu, that the chiv to melech with a tar dafka is not dafka because of that chumrah of lechem. The chazar adin. And you can go back and forth and ask, and you can say the chumrah that's said by Levim is not the chumrah that's said by Nazir and Fakeret. So you see, close the chumras are not goyrim, the chiv to megalech daf with a tar. So you can learn out hatzad shava shabehen shein tunim taglachas. The Levim and Nazir need taglachas v'tiglachton betar. So afani avi, I'll tell you also, I'll bring mitzayra needs to have taglachas, and it should have the same halacha. The taglach should be dafka with a tar. Zok the Gemara vayter. Amalei Rava Marnish l'Ravashi. Rava Marnish told Ravashi. The lifraich, why don't you ask on the side of Shalom, Malat Shabahan, by Levim and Nazir. Maybe you'll say that Torah is machmer dafka tar by Levim and Nazir. Why? Shekain yesh b'hem chumra. Shekain ein karbanim bedalas. Because they both have a chumra that the carbon does not change whether it's a poor person or a rich person. Say a rich person, say a poor person brings the same carbon by a Nazir and by a Levim. Term mitzayra shekarbon medalas, and his carbon of a mitzayra changes. If he's an ani, he could bring birds, instead of a behema. And since we find the Torah is mekel for that, so maybe his mekel also got a dingaluach. That doesn't have to be with a tar. Amalei Rava bar Mishashi Rava. Rava bar Mishashi told Rava, Hai Tana, that we saw in the Raisa before Lamates, Beikara Omar Lalamda, first he started to learn the Chiv Tar from Mitzayra. So he said from Mitzayra, EF Shur, Shein Don and Kal Machamer Lahachmer Love. Because Mitzayra is you can't learn out to Machmer, a din to Machmer by a din Kal from something that's more Chamer, and you want to learn out to the din of Mitzayra and you want to learn how to be machmer by mitzayra he has to megaleach his whole guf. Mashengan and Nazir is only sa roishay. So the Gemara said you can't learn out from mitzayra, which is chamer, to machmer on a Nazir, which is kal. So okay, yeah. So that's what the Gemara was saying. Gemara was saying before you can't learn out the dint taglachs batar by Nazir from mitzayra because Nazir is more kal. He only has to cut off only the hair on top of his head. So it's mashma. The Tana knew, it's mashma from that, the Shakal Batar, the Tana knew that obviously I'm sorry, there isn't the Tagalach Batar, even though he didn't learn out from Nazir. Because Fakir, over there, the Tana was coming to learn out, saying, oh no, you can't learn out Nazir from Mitzayr. As mashma Mitzayr, we knew that halacha. So Gemara wants to know what's Taka the Peshat. And then the Gemara said, Vahadar Amar, Neilaf Medina. And then we want to say, learn out the Chiv Mitzayr, the Chayiv with a tar. Medina from the din of Nazir Levim Amatzad. It's mashma we didn't know by Mitzayra, we didn't have a concrete idea where the halacha of tar comes from. And Medina Namle Yalef. And Lamaisa, you can't learn out from Nazir and Levim also the galachs with tar. Why? Because you have a kasha on the Matzad that there's no karbanos bedalas. It doesn't change. Only by Mitzayra it changes. So the Chayr Frek Gemara, you have a steer in these two brises. From Lamates, as mashma before we want to learn out Nazir from Mitzayra, it's mashma we had a clear idea where the din taglachas b'tar comes from Mitzayra. And then later on, Tanas had a whole shverkite In the Brisa, how do you learn? Where do you learn out? Mitzayra, you have a ma'atzad, you have a kash on the ma'atzad. Chayr steer in the Brisa. So Amar Lei. So that's what Rava Bar Mashash's kasha was to Rava. The Chayr have steer in the Brisa. So Rava answered him, Amar Lei, told him no, there's no stira. The Brisa before that was saying that it knew that Mitzayra is din taglachs batar and did not have to learn it out from Nazir Ali B'dar Rabbanon. And that was going Shitz Rabbanon and learn out din chiv taglachs batar Mitzayra from the word ziknai that's said by Mitzayra. Like the Brisa says later on. The Gemara is going to bring down the Brisa. But the Brisa that says we want to learn out Mitzayra, that it's din taglachs batar from Nazir Leviim, that's going on Liba D'Shuz Rebbe Lezer. That holds that the Torah did not say clearly Mitzayra that din taglachs batar, and you need to learn it out from Nazir. Like we're going to see later on Daf Mem Aleph. Like we'll see later on Daf Mem Aleph that you learn out from Roisha that's said by Mitzayra. That we say the Torah is talking about a Nazir when it says Roshai. So the Brisa wants to learn about Tzur from Nazir and Levim and the whole Tucker Belezer. The Torah does not say clearly Mitzayra Tar, and you need to learn that from Nazir. Okay, why? Like we see the Tanan, we learned in the Mishnah Makas Chaf Manalf Gabi Isar Ashchosas Zaken. It says Ve'ene Chayiv, somebody that cuts his beard is not Chayiv Malkus Achi Yokotenu Bitar until he cuts his beard off with a tar. Rabbi Lezer says, I feel like him lakat, even if it takes it off with a tool that just takes off the top of the hair, uber hitni, and with a tool that cuts the wood. So yichayev. So Zok the Gemara, my Tamai Rabbanon. The Gemara is going to explain what's the Shittas Rabbanon Rabbi Lezer. Rabbanon learn out taglachas Mitzayra is dafka betar. The Tanya learned in the Brisa. It says by Mitzayra by Yikra Perak Yudal pasuk Tes v'Hayibay Yamashvi Galech Kol Sa'aris Roshai v'Sekanoi v'Isgabo Yisainov v'Es Kol Sa'ara Yigalech. So Zekanei Mal Tamal Leimar. Why does a pasuk have to tell you Zekanei? L'choyer it's included in this that the pasuk says v'Es Kol Sa'ara Yigalech. Zok the Brisa lefisha nabar because it says l'gabi Kainim v'Yikra Perak Chafal pasuk Hey u'Fa'as Zekanim lo Yigalechu that there's the isiguluach on the hair of the payas of the beard, betar. So Yachol, I might say, Afilu Mitzayra that comes Mingaleach, he should have the same halacha. That's also Mingaleach, his beard with tar. Talmud Loimar Zakanai. Talmud Loimar Zakanai is extra to tell you that even if he's a kohen, if he wants to cut off his ziknai, because the mitzvah's essay in Mitzayra is doichel loisei v'asakanim loyigalechu that a kohen has. Also, the Isser essay of Kadeshim Yu. So Zok explains the Brisa that's Shana Shitz Rabbanon. They learn out from Zakon. It tells you that a Mitzayra, even though he's a kohen, which normally has Isser Geluach Batar, but if he's a Mitzayra, there's essay the Chalois is saying, and he's allowed to cut his a mitzvah to cut his beard with his Pa'as Ziknai with a tar. So that's where Rabbanon learn a tar. Munala on the Isser Batar, and how do you know that the Isser Hashchas Zaken is with a tar? Like the more Tanya Pa'asakanim Leigalechu. So Yachoil, I might think Afilu Gilchim Sarayim, if he cuts with a scissor, Yechayev Talmud Loimar. It says in the pasuk, Vayikra Parakites pasuk Chavzayim Leisashchis Eis Pasakanecha, and the lashon Leisashchis is mashma that's only usher if he cuts off the whole thing, including the root, and he does derech hashchasa. So we learn out from that the isigluach on a beard for a kohen, from the isigluach of Yisrael, because it says both in a pa'as, so we learn a pa'as. So also for kohenim, it's Torah only answered giluach only by if an hashchasa, which is with a tar, but with a scissor where there's no hashchasa, since you're not taking the hair from its shirish, you're allowed to. A kohen does not have an estim galech hazaken. Zok tomorrow yachol. I might think liktim lakat hitni with different tools. You might be chayiv because lamaisa you're taking out the hair from its root. Talmud loimer pasakanim leigalechu and lashon galuach is mashad only something that's ruggle to migalech with. And lakat hitni is not normal things to cut your hair with. So haketzad. So how you going to be both psukim? One of them is mashka dafka shchasa. The other one is mashma that it's dafka derech giluach. So Zak Gemara Ela Ezu Geluach Shish Ba'ashchasa. So you're going to say that what's a Geluach Shish Ba'ashchasa? That's how you carry both agendas by saying that it's something that's a tar is derech legaleach by, and at the same time you're also being oiker here from its root, from its shirish, and since you have both of those tanam, so in Mela only that is astim galeach abird. So the vort the isra ashchas suckers with a tar and oibezai you can learn out also mitzayra is a mitzvah b'tar, because that's why the Torah had to learn out, tell you a kohen mitzayra, specifically you find a kohen that has the isgaluach normally, even if he's a mitzayra, he's allowed to cut off with anything. You see, there's no isser with his taglachas, because if the isser would not be specifically with a tar, it would be with any kind of tool, then the Torah would not have to tell me that a kohen can be megaleach, because there's no mitzvah specific with a tar anyway. How do you know that the din of taglachas b'tzar is only with tar? Dilma lo'ilam afilu likdem lakader hitni you'll be chayiv, and not with a tar. Nami mitzvah, maybe it's also kind of mitzvah taglachas b'mitzvah. V'ha, and the word zakanoi, I'll tell you, is only coming to tell you that a kohen mitzvah has to do with dafka with a tar. How do you know it's a din in every mitzvah? Zakti Gemara, Kasalash Mi'inon, Dafilu Betar, Loi Mechayev Alei. It's coming to tell you that even though normally with a tar is Asim Galeach, Loi Mechayev Alei is not Mechayev Malkas and Isash Chasazakin, and Oy Bezoi. So maybe it's not coming to tell you that it's a chiv dafka to do with a tar. Maybe it's coming to tell you that if he does it with a tar, he gets his mitzvah either way. Whichever oifen he cuts off his zira. Maybe it's telling you that even if he does it with a tar, he's not chayiv malchus. Also, it's a shchas hasakin because of the word zakane. So the Gemara wants to shlug that up for a few reasons. Amri Bnei Yeshiva said that a from the word zikna is coming to tell you taglachas mitzvah is specifically dafka with tar. Why? Because if you want to tell me ki avid nami b'malket b'hitni shaber dami, you could do it anyway and he gets a mitzvah. Lishta kramine. Torah should not say this for you, but and I will be able to say, to learn out, that mitzvah could do it with a tower, a kal v'chomer from taglachas nazir Torah, that it's doicha the isar kafas aroish. And I'll tell you, a magabi nazir, the sur ka'avid, B'shas kabbalas and naziris is over on his isser because he's neither naziris and it's called a chayte. And afilu hachi is mechayev to be mgaleach his whole head, and it's doiche the isar kafas aroish. So hachanami, I'll tell you by mitzvah, which is a mitzvah, which did not come al yidei chet, like kolshkein, that this mitzvah should be doiche the isar shchas zekoin, and it's muchach. The zikna is coming to tell you that it's coming to tell you dafka specifically as a din with tar. Al Tzakal V'Choyer from Nazir. So that's the first reason why the Gemara is saying that Zakana has to be telling you that there is specifically dafka mitzvah with a tar, and not that it's a mitzvah any way you do it, and it's just that there's no issur with a tar. The Gemara in Amud Beis, the Gemara says another reason, V'su, Zak the Gemara, I'll tell you another reason why Zakana has to be telling you that specifically there's a chiv to do with a tar from a tzayra. Why? Because Isal Kadaitach, if it's going to go on your mind and say that Ki Avid Mamakan they're hitting mitzvah Ka'avid, he gets a mitzvah also. With the like Siv Tar, because it doesn't say before it's going to with Tar, it's just a ribui. Rish Lakish, the Amar, Kamang Shat Motza, Ase Veloisem, At Yachal Kaim Shneim, Mutiv, Im Lav, Yavi Ase Yitchaz Loisa say. So Zak the Gemara, Rish Lakish says a concept in the halachas when it comes that for an essay to be doicha loisa say, the only time you say an essay is doicha loisa say is only if there's no other way around it. That means you have to mekayim the essay and it's doicha loisa. So you say the essay is doicha loisa. But if it's efshel l'kayim shneim without being over the lav, then it's better to be mekayim with this essay and not to be over the lav. So Zakti Gemara, if it's shaykh to be mekayim the essay without using a tar, and the whole din tar is marinish that it's just not an isser, then yavi esi, then what pshat by taglachas mitzayra? It shouldn't be mutter to do it with the tar, because this whole heter of tar is doicha the whole klal of the chiyas lavin. the whole concept of Chiyas Lam, that Rish Lakish says, is that it's Efshel L'Kayim both. You're not going to stand as they say. That's what you should Deichel say. So it's a muchach from the fact of Zikna is coming to tell you that what? That a Kohen Mitzvah specifically has a Chiv to Megalech B'tar, and therefore we say that it's Deichel L'Lois say. For the fact that we see that the essay is Deichel L'Lois say, Muzayin is specifically is a Chiv with a tar, otherwise there would not be a heter to do a B'tar. Ad kan. So those are the two reasons Gemara explains the Shitz Rabbana is the Kona is coming to mind. It's coming to Marber that there's a Chiv specifically to do it with a tar by Mitzvah.